If you thought all the left-wing propaganda big money interests have been pumping into our phones, our computers, and our TVs was bad, wait until you see what Qatar has been doing. That's where a lot of the Hamas leaders are. They aren't fighting and dying with their people. They live in the lap of luxury, far away from any danger, purposely putting rockets inside of kindergartens and hospitals because sacrificing their own civilians, their own kids, is seen as good PR for them to turn public support against Israel, as they've done time and time again in the past. Khalid Mashali, leader and founding member of Hamas, made a video plea for global jihad, that all Muslims around the world show how angry they are, he says, and demand that their nations not support Israel at all and in any way, and also that they fund Hamas through their donations. Writer Pedro Gonzalez points out, quote, Hamas's leader made this call for global jihad from Qatar, which has spent billions of dollars buying influence in the U.S. through media and academic institutions. Qatar spent more on lobbying in the U.S. between 2015 and 2022 than Apple or the NRA. But most Americans have no idea, end quote. According to Open Secrets, that totals about $72 million since the year 2015. And much of that federal lobbying has to do with American national security because they want to undermine it. But of course, according to Tlaib, Trump, he's a puppet of Putin. Russia controls our politics, but Hamas, well, hey, they're just the underdog, freedom fighters, right? Joining us now to discuss is retired U.S. Navy SEAL Will Spencer, the founder of the American Warrior Association. Will, thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you, Kara, for having me.
Great. So what do you make of Hamas now trying to make this a global jihad while sitting all pretty in the lap of luxury in five-star hotels in Qatar right now?
It's always been the sad state of things. The cowards sit in five-star hotel rooms. They sit in little villas and nice little places in Italy, in New York City, in London, while your $5 fighters are running around the ground, you know, impassioned by their beliefs and spurred on to evil violence like you've seen in Israel, and they keep getting away with it. And that's why I've always, you know, insisted on a global pursuit effort against terrorism. And the war on terror has never ended. We should have been snatching these people up in their luxury villas, in their five-star hotels since day one after 9/11 until now. It's never ended, and here we go again.
Well, you know, the Prime Minister of Israel said it's war, and of course it's war, but, you know, you served in special operations. You have that military experience. You know how hard these types of wars can be when you're fighting an enemy that doesn't play fair, that doesn't wear a uniform and, you know, line up nice and pretty on a battlefield. When they hide in tunnels, they hide behind civilians. They actually love it when their own children get killed and slaughtered, because then they can throw all those images up on the media and say that they're the true victims out of all this. Instead, Hamas are putting their people in harm's way, so they're the ones doing it. But again, that's how they fight. They fight nasty. So Israel, that's where they're going up. Despite having all this advanced weaponry and they have the manpower, they're going up against people who hide in tunnels, who, like we were saying, have rocket launchers hidden in kindergartens and in hospitals and the rest. But now at the same time, Hezbollah in Lebanon, they're firing missiles and rockets and mortars down from the north. There could be a second front opening up. So talk to us when it comes to from a military strategic point, what kind of threat Israel is facing right now.
Yeah, look, I've been in operations in Afghanistan, and I've actually seen them shoot the enemy terrorists, shoot their own women and children to kill us. This is a war of good versus evil. And what you see right now in Israel, this isn't just that they're surrounded by the enemy, which has always been, they've always been treated like foreigners in their own homeland. Not only are they surrounded by the enemy with Hamas inside of Gaza and to their south with Egypt, you got Hezbollah to their north and Jordan. They're literally surrounded by the enemy, but now you've seen that they're also surrounded by evil. And so the threat is very real. They do not play fair, as you said, and they will never play fair. And the difference between good people and bad people is that we play by the rules. We will risk our lives, even give up our lives, to protect the women and children. Evil people will kill everybody's women and children.
That they will. And also, you know, of course, the big news today is Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib and many others. It's not just her. There are many others right now who are either silent or are openly supporting what Hamas is doing. I'm thinking right now of BLM. There were some rallies in New York City and in Dearborn, Michigan as well. What do you make of those like Tlaib? As I was saying earlier, the analogy, who would cry when it was President Trump in office about the border and the children there, when of course they were not being slaughtered. There was no mass terrorism being perpetrated by the U.S. government against kids at the border. In fact, we were the ones protecting those kids from those who are trying to traffic them with adults who are not related to them. However, though, when now children are being slaughtered openly by Hamas, Hamas isn't hiding. They're not pretending that that's not what they're doing. That is what they're doing. They're live streaming it for the world to see. What do you make of her silence and others like her either being silent or actively supporting?